There's some people you ought to know. Don't worry because he will say hello for you. Here we go. It's the Ferg Neil Show.
Hello, you are listening to Radio Fodder. We're talking to some of the most affable and adorable comedians performing at this year's Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Today, he's a Scotsman raised on brandy from the bottle, a man who prides himself on breaking up all kinds of relationships. He's got a new show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, which kicks off tonight, called So. Daniel Sloss, what's cracking?
Hello.
Extremely hungover?
Oh, brutally hungover. Yeah, I started drinking from I think it was 11 a.m. yesterday. Because my friend and wonderful comedian Kai Humphries, we haven't seen each other in 3 months, and he just got engaged, so I took him out for a congratulations lunch.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Where we started drinking, and then we had gigs, which we obviously drank at, and then it was the Melbourne Festival launch party, and I can't remember it. Apparently I was fun though. I bumped into,
yeah.
You know that level of hungover you are when you bump into people and they're like, how are you feeling today? And you're like, oh God, I must have been blind.
Not ready for a student interview.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. And the second you said I could swear, I was like, oh good. Because otherwise I'm not really in the position to be self-editing.
What do the numbers 56 breakups, 3 cancelled engagements, and 1 divorce mean to you? What's this I hear about you breaking up loving relationships?
No, I'm not breaking up loving relationships. I'm breaking up bullshit relationships. The show this year I talk about love and stuff. I'm always a perpetually single person, and I find there's a lot of arrogance amongst people in relationships.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Smugness.
Look how happy we are. You're like, you're both utter fucking
At parties,
dogs.
it's the worst. Yeah.
Oh, anyone on Facebook that calls their other one, just went for lunch with this one, die. Absolutely die.
What do you think?
If you're secure in your relationship, you do not need to publicly shout about it.
Yeah, okay. So you reckon a sign of a healthy relationship is no social media?
If you were to go online, you wouldn't know my parents were married.
Okay,
they're
yeah.
just, because they love, everyone knows they love each other. People that are just like, oh, I miss this one so much. I'm like, why are you shouting so loudly? You're terrified. And I just talk about, I think my generation is so very desperate to start the rest of their lives that they're willing to give up the one they're currently living.
Okay,
we have a romanticized idea of romance.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And people are so desperate to be in a relationship, not with the right person, they'll just accept anyone. And I don't think it's a healthy way to live. I don't think it's a healthy attitude to have. And the show's obviously funnier than this. This just makes me sound like a miserable bastard. But yeah, I just enjoy talking, breaking down what my opinion of, what love and good relationships are.
So how would you go about it? What's the actual, if someone's sitting at...
I never do it. I never do it. It never bring them up during the show.
You don't just pick out a couple
No,
and
not
start...
at all. No, okay. All I do is talk about relation, and there's this analogy that I've had in my head since I was very young, thanks to my dad, and I just talk about that on stage, and it's my opinion on how you should go about finding love and making a relationship work, and it really sticks in some people's heads. And then a couple of weeks, I always say on
it festers.
It's, doubt is not a flower; it's a fucking weed. You do not need to water it. So put the seed of doubt in their head, and then I say, if you break up with your partner because of anything I said tonight, Facebook tweet me and Instagram me and let me know. And I originally just said it as a joke, and then
it's really taken off.
And I reckon, the confirmed ones are 53 breakups.
Okay.
Oh, no, maybe I think it's 54. I got notified on Instagram yesterday. 54 breakups, 3 cancelled engagements, and 1 divorce.
Man,
Doing God's work. But that's the thing, I can't break up true love.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you reckon if they were healthy, they wouldn't break up because of you?
No, absolutely. I've had people after the show come up to me who are in relationships and be like, everything you said there I fully agree with, and it made me realise how much I do really love my partner. Yeah. But I don't talk about that on stage because that's not funny.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I've probably saved or reinforced way more relationships, but... That's not a fun thing to tell people.
Yeah. But do you think stand-up comedians, a lot of them seem cynical relationships, and I know Amy Schumer said being in the lifestyle of traveling a lot, it's not conducive to, you know what I mean, maybe a relationship. Do you think that could play into it or not at all?
No, I've no friends that are happily married or have partners. Yeah, it makes it tougher, but that's
That's
you know,
life.
you can put if you want to put the effort in, and if you don't want to, then it's not
the
the right one. Also, I like one of my little backup arguments is if people go, aren't you upset that you've broken up these couples? I'm like, look, if you're listening to a 26-year-old fucking comedian who's never worked an honest day in his life, hasn't had a successful relationship since he was about 19, if you're taking my advice on relationships seriously, you are a dumbass. Like, why? If I can break up your relationship, it wasn't that strong in the first place.
Yeah.
You were looking for any excuse, and it just happened to be me.
Yeah. You also hate public marriage proposals. Do you think they're the worst?
Oh, it's that's the thing about people in love who are not truly in love. They just have this unnecessary narcissistic drive to force it on other people, as if it's there's this arrogance with love, as if it's the best thing in the world, and it's, for them it is, because none of them have had threesomes. Like if you've only ever had sex with one person in your life, of course it's the greatest thing. But as someone who's done it, there's so much of like, oh my god, I'm in love, it's the best thing in the world. No, it's not. Like, it's nice. It's great. It's nice to be loved, but there's other things.
Yeah. So you've been killing stand-up since you were 16. I know one of your introductions to stand-up comedy was your mum approached Frankie Boyle and asked if you do some writing jobs.
No, it wasn't even that.
Okay.
She just approached Frankie and said, my son wants to do stand-up. Do you have any advice for him?
Wow, okay.
And he just said, here's my email address. Get
And you
him to
started
email
writing?
me. No, even that's always
Okay.
been something that was blown out of proportion. He just took me under his wing and let me come to a bunch of gigs and showed me how he wrote jokes. And then was like, if, you know, he sort of gave me like a little bit of homework type thing.
Yeah,
Being
okay.
like,
You think
this
it's
is
blown up a bit?
Yeah, like this. Yeah, because I worked. He was so nice. And, but people were like, young boy writes for Frankie. I'm like, there was no day where Frankie was sitting in his office being like, how am I going to go on stage? I haven't got Sloss's email through. No. He was just a lovely man helping out a young kid.
Yeah. What does it feel like being on a university campus? I know you nearly went to the University of Dundee to do history, but you deferred because then you started killing it in stand-up comedy. Over in the US, Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock, they refuse to perform on stand-up colleges because they think it's too politically correct. What do you think of political correctness? Do you think it's...
I think some of it's absolute. I hate both sides of people being like, oh, it's political correctness gone mad.
Yeah.
But then also, like, I think some of it is absolutely necessary. Like, if you gotta, you know, be careful what you say. You get some comedians who go out and just say things to offend people. They just go out to get that sort of reaction. But then, and that's, in my opinion, that's not, you know, a fucking great way to live your life.
Yeah.
But then on the other side of things, you get people who look to get offended.
Yeah.
People who will jump at anything. Like, I've been corrected on jokes that I have in the past, and I really appreciate it. Like, but it was done properly. I used to do jokes about fat people, and then I had someone being like, is that really like intelligent? Like, is that a necessary target for you to do? And I was like, oh yeah, okay. She was like, she didn't say that offends me. She was like, you know, it's just upsetting because I like you, and then you are, and then you're insulting all these people, and like, you know, I have a sort of young fan base, and I sort of thought it would really, really kill me if I, you know, just to think of like a young kid watching my stand-up, if they've got, you know, body confidence issues, and then one of their favourite people is on stage also shitting on them. You've got to take a bit of responsibility for that. But then other times people go, I was offended by that, and I was like, well, you're wrong and an idiot, and I don't care.
Yeah. Growing up, do you think you had an environment that was conducive to comedy? Like, were your parents funny?
My parents are the funniest people in the world. The absolute funniest. And I don't mean in the sense that like other people say, oh, my parents are funny, my dad's like dead quirky, and my mom like she likes memes or like all that. My parents are very, very naturally funny people. They would have been comedians themselves had they not just been hugely overqualified.
So growing up, do you think that could have been a push into stand-up comedy? Your parents being funny, or
I used to watch stand-up with my dad since I was about 7 years old. I remember like sitting up. I remember going to bed and like just hearing my dad laughing downstairs, and I live to make my parents laugh. It's always been and I heard how hard my dad was laughing downstairs, and I wanted to know what it was, so I snuck out of bed, and I was like, oh Dad, I don't feel well. Full of shit. Absolutely lying. And he just let me watch, he was watching like Jack D on Live at the Apollo way back in the day. And I started watching, and I loved it. I didn't get all the jokes obviously, but I laughed at the swearing. and then me and my dad all through, like, we just went to see stand up constantly.
Yeah.
Him and my mum, when they were just boyfriend and girlfriend back at university, in fact, after university, they moved down to London, and there was like a local comedy club where there was only like 15 audience members a week, sort of thing, very small. And the resident host was Mark Lamar, and when he couldn't do it, it was Eddie Izzard.
Oh wow, yeah.
And they saw Stuart Lee there, they saw Jenny Eclair, they
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
Joe Brand, and
Yeah.
all these other who at the time were not famous at all.
They were up and coming.
Barely even up and
Okay, yeah,
And
wow.
then for my dad and mum to see them now.
For sure, yeah, it's insane.
So
yeah.
they've always loved stand up.
Yeah.
And so just through that, so did I.
Yeah. So your first gig wasn't that you did a 2-day like
Comedy course.
and then you performed.
Yeah.
Was that like at the moment you're on stage, like a lot of the comedians we've been talking to, like Ronnie Chen and Tom Balamato, kind of, they say there was a bit of a spark clicked in the back of their mind when they started performing. Did you have that?
Yeah, you get bitten by the bug. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you like meth, once you have a bite, you keep coming back.
Exactly.
Until you're
It's
addicted.
exactly that. And also to any aspiring comics out there, don't do a fucking comedy course.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't do it.
What was it just?
It's just you
think-
learn by doing stand-up.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Also, if you learn to like write jokes in a specific way, unless you want to become like a one-liner comic, which obviously there's nothing wrong with. But if you want to find
Yeah.
your voice, you just have to be on stage and
Okay.
do it. It's just what most comedy courses are.
Yeah.
Are a failed comedian making money out of people who don't know better.
Yeah. Okay.
Like.
It's funny because there was 2 days ago here. So
Oh, and it would have been. He might have had some valid, but he would have had advice that you could have got for free on the circuit.
Yeah.
Like comedy, there's
yeah.
nothing you can't. You don't have to pay to learn. Just
Yeah,
go.
it is
If you
a
want to
weird
learn how
thing.
to do comedy,
Yeah.
go to a comedy club.
Yeah.
Go down to. I mean, you've got so many great ones in Melbourne. Go to Crab Lab.
Yeah.
Go to Spleen.
Spleen's
talk
amazing,
to
yeah.
talk to the comics there about
Rochester.
how they got into it.
Yeah.
And most of them will be nice, and just watch how they develop material and watch what they're like on stage, and and then just do any gig. Like
Yeah.
when you start out, it's got nothing to do with how funny you are. You've just got to get used to being on stage.
Yeah. So were you shit when you first started?
Dog shit.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was very confident. I always have
Okay.
been.
Yeah.
But that was just because when I started, I was too stupid to realize how nerve-wracking it should be.
Yeah,
So by the
okay.
time I was able to realize, this is quite scary, I was confident because I'm very good at this.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
was aware of it at that point.
Yeah.
It's. I was for a while. I knew how to write jokes and I knew how to tell them, and I was confident on stage.
Yeah.
But I hate my old stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
But I think that's necessary. Like if you,
Yeah, well, you need
if
to
you're
grow.
a comedian and you don't hate jokes you did 2 years ago, you haven't improved.
Yeah. Do you think comedy, I know you just talked about it then, can be taught, or do you think it's a disposition you have within you, or?
I think it can be taught in like certain ways. Like I definitely learn from other comics.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
watch how they perform on stage, and like if I find them amazing, I'm naturally inspired by them to push myself more. But I don't think it's up on a board math.
Yeah,
lines
okay,
on-
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if this makes sense, but I think it can be learned, but I don't think it can be taught.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Do you think coming to Australia, like, and I know you were here last year, and you had a super intimate show about your sister. This year...
When you say intimate, I didn't fuck my sister. gotta clarify that. Yeah, no. It's not. I don't know what the stereotypes you have about Scotland. Yeah, no, last year...
Yeah, it was...
My sister passed away when I was 9 years old. She was 7. She
Yeah.
was disabled. She had cerebral palsy. And I'd never really spoken about it on stage before. And not because, like, people were like, oh, was it just too hard? I'm like, no, just I couldn't make it
Didn't
funny.
come out. Yeah,
It didn't
okay, yeah.
sound And then I had to do a gig in somewhere in the States, in LA. And
Uncomfortable material, wasn't it?
yeah, they would like just go on stage and tell a story you've never told before.
Okay,
and I was like,
yeah.
I've never spoken about my sister. And I phoned my mum and I was like, would you mind if I did this? She was like, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
Here's 3 hilarious stories
Okay.
that you probably don't remember.
Yeah,
and I did it
okay.
on stage and it ripped. It went very, very well. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, this is fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
also, it's very...
So cathartic, surely.
Very cathartic in ways. It's also... It was very fun to just have the audience like that, like to there was deathly silences in it, but not not bad ones. Like normally as a comic, you associate silence with a joke gone wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I realized silence meant they were listening, and there was a proper power trip.
Okay.
Like, I would feed them. I used to pitch the whole thing as I would talk about her as if she was still alive.
Yeah.
And then at one point in the show, I would
Rip
drop
the
the
carpet.
ball.
Yeah,
because I wanted them to go through the same level of shock I went through when she died. So, and then because then it sort of justifies my sense of humor in a way. But I really enjoy being personal on stage because you absolutely don't have to agree with me on things, and I would be shocked if you did. But it's important to understand that you don't have to agree with me for us to be friends.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this idea that you get some people like, if you disagree with me, I'm deleting you off Facebook. You're like, oh, what a healthy attitude. That's gonna change the world, you dumbass. Like, open dialogue and just I know how dumb I am. But I still have opinions.
Well, I think people get caught in their bubbles. Like in Australia at the moment, it's a one nation bubble, and then there's the super left leaning bubble. You know what I mean? Like if you can break out of that and have a dialogue with someone else, you might hate that person, but you'll learn something.
Yeah, the far left are as bad as the far right. I talk about that in this show. I'm definitely left wing. Unashamedly.
Yeah.
But there are some people, in the same way that I look at far right wing people and I go, oh, you like assholes. I look at some far left wing people, I'm like, you are just as bad. You just spew hate in a different way. And I also have friends that are slightly right leaning and I disagree with them politically. But we can still be mates.
You're not going to turn on them just because they oppose your political views. I think that's ridiculous.
And also, like, I have friends who are right wing who like, even though this is how left wing I am. The words right wing to me just feels like an insult. That's how far. That's what the far left do. They make it. You know, they're the enemy. They're the enemy. And they are, and they're winning. But you know, it's just like, the left have to be tolerant. That's our thing.
So with last year's show being as it was, and that probably like really hyper personal material for you, how does it differ from this show, which is called So?
This one is probably is personal. Once you go personal, you really sort of can't go back to it. It's an addiction to just, you know, it's like therapy in a way to talk about my thoughts. My show this year is sort of about how I think I'm a bad person. But I know how to be a good person. It's about that's what I should talk about. You know, the left and the right wing and relationships and stuff. All my shows. I don't think I'll ever be able to do a non-personal show again. Which is the shitty thing about being a comedian. Now I just wish bad things happen to me because I know I can turn it into material.
Do you think that the stand-up lifestyle is conducive to happiness? Like, have you found it like really like you can't imagine yourself doing anything?
Absolutely.
Else?
I'm a proper like I come across as miserable.
A little,
absolutely. But I'm the happiest.
But you seem like a happy guy. I can feel it. I can.
I love this job. I never in my life when I started thought I would be at this stage. Ever. Like,
you never pictured.
Oh, it was a dream.
Edinburgh.
It was a dream. But like I didn't think it wasn't a realistic one.
You never had an intuition that maybe I can do this really well at a high level.
No, I just thought it'd be a hobby. I just thought I thought like it'd be something that I wanted to be a stand-up, but that doesn't mean I was gonna be. Just because you want something doesn't mean it's gonna. None of this hippie. If you believe it, it'll happen. Shut up, nerd. No, it won't. With your vision boards. I hate all that NLP crap.
So you think that, in terms of people thinking about pursuing their dreams, students who maybe
do it, absolutely do it, but have a backup plan. My parents made sure that I got into university when I started studying. They were like, you can absolutely do this, but do have a backup plan because it might not work out. People talk about all these successes, but if you follow your dreams, you'll achieve them. No, you won't. It's because you only get told success stories.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought. You never
if
hear
you want to go see all the failure stories, walk down the street. Those are mostly people who did not achieve their childhood dreams. I'm not saying they're not happy. They find happiness in a different thing. But I guarantee 90% of those people, if you were to ask the 16-year-old version of themselves, are not living their dream.
So is that the main narrative running through the show? Is happiness, being a good person?
To talk about to talk about how to get happiness in a way, and like the way I know how miserable and cynical I sound. Also, cynical is a word that optimists came up for logical people. Like I've
never heard that before.
Oh, it's absolutely true. Optimists is the worst.
I like it.
They just The advantages of being a pessimist is either I think everything's going to be rubbish. So one of two things will happen. One, everything is rubbish and I'm right and I love being right and I've prepared for the worst thing. Or two, I'm wrong, but everything goes better than expected. It's a win-win. If you're an optimist, you are setting yourself up for failure. And because you're optimists, us pessimists love watching you fail. Nothing better than watching an optimist lose their smile.
So going into the Melbourne International Comedy Festival last night to get pissed, you thought this is going to be shit house, and you ended up having a fun night. Is that what you do it?
Yeah. Well, I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be fun, but you know,
was it at Max Watts? Was it in on
No.
Sponsors?
I think that only opens up tonight. I don't even know what it was. I can't remember. I really can't remember where it was.
How long have you been in Australia for?
I've actually been out here for 2.5 weeks. I was in Sydney
wow.
for a bit, and then I had to go to a wedding in Byron Bay.
Yeah.
And then I did Brisbane, Canberra, and Tasmania.
Yeah. How do you find the Australian audiences compared to the UK? Okay. What are the differences between a UK audience and an Australian audience? Very
little. I find audiences all over the world. There's more difference between a Tuesday night crowd and a Friday night crowd than there is between an American and an Australian audience.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's you know, some people hate me everywhere, some people love me everywhere.
Okay,
it's not, you know, we're not as different as we think. We just, you know, sound different. But I do love the fact that over here you guys use the C-bomb as much as we do back home.
How did you find that in America? I know you've been on Conan 7 times. I can imagine, especially a lot of your stuff.
Which is weird because so many of them are. Like,
okay.
Like they're all. It's like, how can you hate that word when you've clearly been called it most of your life?
Well, I mean, a lot of your comedy and the stuff, you undermine religion. So I just imagined, like, did you...
I don't undermine it a little bit. I just talk about it logically, and then they feel undermined. That's the thing I've always found about faith is I come from a religious family. My uncle's a minister. I mean, my immediate family, mum and dad, we're all atheists and stuff. But I've got no problem with a lot of religion. But it's people get so sensitive about it. Like, and that my argument there is your faith isn't strong then. I believe the world is round, right? That's my belief, right? But if you were to come up to me and be like, oh my God, what an idiot. You think the earth is round. Ha ha ha, you stupid moron. I can't believe. I wouldn't be like, how dare you? I'd laugh at you for thinking I was stupid. But the second I suggest your God's not real, you get sad. Sounds like someone's faith is not as strong as they just said it was. Sounds as if I'm putting doubt in your head. You think I'm terrified about God existing? No. Question my faith. Call me an idiot for being an atheist. Let's see who's crying by the end of it. When have I ever written an email to a pastor being like, how dare you say all these horrible things? Morons.
Your friend Kai, your best friend Kai, who often tours with you, he's in Australia as well performing.
Kai Humphreys.
He was at the party last night with you as well. He was. How did you two first meet?
We met in a comedians... There's a football team in Scotland called Hibernian. It was a comedians versus the Hibs under 17 girls football team. And we played them, and Kai was on the team. And I'd heard of Kai because my agent who'd signed me the year before was like, I've met this other comic. I think he's great. I think you'd really like him. And me and Kai have always said that if you believe in the infinite universes theories where there's multiple universes and you know they're slightly different from each other, this is the only one where me and him are friends. Like we have the most different background. I'm you know, middle class Scottish, slightly come from an educated family. And Kai just used to either get the crap beaten out of him or beat the crap out of people when he was his childhood. So I love hearing him talk about his childhood because he is to me he's the funniest man on the planet. Yeah, but when I met him, he had bleach blonde hair. He was wearing trackies on stage.
Cool.
Like bomber jackets. Like I was like, who the. Like he was a bogan. Like he was a full-blown bogan.
Is that in UK? Is it called a chav?
Chav, It was a chav and a Ned.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him for the first time, and Marlena was like, "This is a guy you'll really get on with." I'm like, "You don't fucking know him at all." Like like, these are the people and then we went on tour. And,
Do you love touring with him? I imagine.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we are horrible to each other. We are horrific human beings.
Yeah.
We will do and say the worst things to each other because we know we can't upset each other.
Yeah.
So then it just becomes more of a joke. I've said unrepeatable things that I probably could go to jail for. Like, even with freedom.
But he's
of
still
speech.
doing okay. He doesn't need a shrink or anything.
No, we're like a shrink for each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a show as well. It's on it's 7:00 at Sub Club. And
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Sloss, we've only got a couple minutes left. I don't know why I said Daniel Sloss there as
That's
opposed
fine.
to just Daniel.
Just go for the
What?
Daniel Sloss.
What can you tell a bunch of students listening about your show? So I know you've detailed a bit. Maybe any final caps or
I've been doing it since August last year, the Fringe.
Yeah.
Took on tour, so I've done it about 120 times, which means now it's at a point where I love it. I love performing it so much because it's so tight, and it's, you know, every couple, the first 50 shows of a show is a bit difficult because you're still finding where everything fits perfectly and how it flows, and then like on the 51st one you'll suddenly be like, oh, that should be there, but when it is there and you know the order and you know how everything flows, then you get to have fun on stage as well because you get to perform more, you get to do more acting in the bits, and all I'm saying is I've done it so many times now. This is the best you'll ever see it.
Yeah.
And then it's your also last chance to, because I'm recording it in Sydney. And then we're done.
Yeah. I've got one final question. I find it fascinating how long you've been doing stand-up comedy, that you can be called a veteran comic.
Yeah.
Having, being 26 years old. You know what I mean?
I've been going for 10 years in August.
Yeah. Doing it like that young, and then I don't know, hanging around veteran comics. I can't imagine like a 17-year-old kid in the clubs. Like the clubs in Melbourne. I mean, like you mentioned them, Spleen, Rochester. There's some of the better ones, but there are some roughhouse ones out in the burbs. How did you find navigating that? Like drunken, or do you just like hecklers? Like I'm sure you got berated.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of worked to my advantage for a bit because even now I'm 26, I still look young. Like I've always looked like a fetus. So when I was younger, people weren't expecting me to be funny. So when I was funny, it was worth twice as much.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
And also the backstage with comics. I got shat on for years, but in a friendly way by comics.
Yeah, for sure.
Like of course I got berated for being young, in the same way that I now berate young comics. There's Kieran Lyons.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yeah, he's a Triple J host. He's young.
Yeah.
Aaron Chen.
He's from WA.
Yeah.
He's a lovely guy. I talked to him last festival. Yeah.
He's like, I think he's just turned 20. I've known Kieran since he was 16.
I saw him perform 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's very good.
Funny. Yeah.
And Aaron Chen and Naomi Higgins. All these young comics. I love just shitting on them. Say, we're shouting. Because they'll do it in 10 years' time as well. I remember last year at the Edinburgh Festival, I was sat down at a table, and there's a competition in Edinburgh called So You Think You're Funny. It's essentially our version of Raw.
Yeah.
And that was a competition I did when I was 17 years old, and I was in the final. And I remember sitting at that table with all the other finalists and just looking at all these other comics around me, who like these comics who I saw as famous, and I knew them all, these veterans, and I was just like, wow, God, I don't feel I belong here. And then last year I was at the same bar and I saw the table of So You Think You're Funny comics, and they're all young and they're all terrified and they're all looking at me like, that's Daniel Sloss, and I'm like, oh, holy shit. And then I just went over and was just like, you're gonna bomb, you're all gonna eat shit, none of you are gonna win, and it's just, they're like, what? And I'm like, it's honestly, if you do Raw and you do So You Think You're Funny, it's a great opportunity. Yeah. But it is not your career. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you are. My thing to them was, right now you're all officially comedians.
Yeah. Once you're part of that community.
You're in. And it is a community. Don't get me wrong. There's some absolute.
Yeah. And you love the festival?
Oh, love it. Yeah. God, yeah.
That vibe what's it like compared to Edinburgh, like the Melbourne?
Oh, it's small. Edinburgh's the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
But Melbourne is the second biggest, and it's great. It's a similar vibe.
The city kind of comes alive at this time of year as well. Like everybody's out pretty much until the late show at the Exford at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love the vibe. I love the audiences. I love going out drinking every night and having fun. Because the joyous thing about my type of comedy as well, like if I'm hungover on stage, it arguably makes the show better. Like because
Which is a weird incentive.
Because my I'm not overthinking things.
Yeah,
and then when I'm doing the bits where I'm angry on stage or whatever, it really reignites the flame because I'm angry that I'm hungover.
Well, Daniel says, I'm very excited for your show, just hearing it, and I hope you break up more relationships in the course of the next 2 weeks.
And to anyone listening, even if you don't want to come to the show, if you have two friends who are in a relationship and you think they're wrong for each other, buy them tickets to my show and I guarantee you I will break them up.
Next week on the show, we have Demi Lardner and Rose Matafeo. Rose Matafeo is off the back of interviewing Amy Schumer and performing at Soho in London. Have a great Thursday evening.
Well, there's some people you ought to know. Don't worry because he will say hello for you.